Jesus did not judge, period. He never judged. And if we are sons and daughters of God, we should not be judging at all. We shouldn't even have an opinion about it, because an opinion about it is judgment too. And Jesus didn't judge because, as is going to happen to you once you stop judging, you wake up, you're going to see that in yourself that you have never done anything on your own. You were influenced to do wrong, what we call wrong. That you were possessed by the devil, the spirit of the devil. And it's the spirit of the devil that's causing you to judge others, judge yourself, do the crazy stuff. Just like those people down there doing that mockery of Jesus, so-called mockery of Jesus. I mean, the Catholic overreacted to that, and that's what those people wanted. Because that's what the devil wants in your life. He wants you to overreact. And when he overreact, he got you. But if you be still through it, he cannot control you. He has to leave you. He does, but he has to give you something. And if the Catholic has omitted those people, know that they are being driven by evil, they'll go away then. They'll go and find somebody to do that too, so they can get a reaction from, so they can feel alive. Everybody that judge are doing it so that they can feel alive. They're hating on others so they can feel life. It's not life, but they think it's life. It's death. It's not life at all. And so Jesus never judged. He just went about his business healing those that wanted to be healed from the devil. He knew that they're possessed. Somebody mentioned the prostitute and all the other people. If Jesus was judging, he would not have been able to go amongst everything. People were filled with all kinds of spirits, just as they are today. And when we forgive, God forgive us, and he worked through us as the light. And so we just live our life, just living it without an opinion, and the light is shining, and those who are seeking the Father will see something in you. And they will ask, hey, I noticed you don't get mad, or I noticed that you tend to be able to overcome anything. What is it? And you'll be able to point them back to love, to God as well. You don't have to go on the street and do all that street yelling and carrying on. And there's those people who let their children go through those schools and get all that. They want that. Because if they didn't want it, they would pull the kids out of school. And it's their kids they're doing it to, not my kid. I don't feel any pain from it. I neither feel good about it or bad about it. That's what you want, that's what you do. The children are not our children. The children are the children to the parent only. They don't belong to everybody. Just think about God let those kids go to school. He let them be taught LGBTQ because he gave it to the father and the mother responsibility to protect the children, not some neighborhood, not some community. The parent are supposed to protect the children, and the parents don't care. So why are you going to be out there fighting over somebody else's children when the parents don't care? And some of those people that were doing the dirty stuff, somebody hanging on a cross, what looked to be a cross, and some other person doing weird stuff, that's just the devil operating through them. And they have to go out to try to hurt somebody else or get a reaction so that they can continue to walk around in a fake life, dead and not living. Just like you do in your life. You have anger. You're trying to make somebody else angry so that you can feel alive. Or you're trying to make someone feel good so you can feel alive. It's the same spirit. It's the same thing. And Jesus, somebody mentioned, Jesus never went to a protest. And they were doing all kinds of things there. He didn't show up to yell at them and try to make them see the right way. Yeah, all right. My Father sent me so I could free you up, so you can see how to overcome evil. Jesus was able to see beyond the physical person, and he saw the spirit that was in them, and that it wasn't them. Those people that were doing all that weird, it really wasn't them. They're possessed with evil. And every human being has that until they are born again of God, until they return to the Father. How are you going to help anyone who don't know that they're possessed if you have any opinion about it. And how are you going to judge them if you truly see what's driving you? Because I promise you, once you truly see what's driving you, you're going to see what's driving everybody in the whole world. And by seeing, you cannot judge. And you're not accepting it either. You're not either accept it or judge it. So there's nothing to do about it. Because you're one now, you're a whole. You're not accepting it, you're not judging, you're not divided. Because if you accept it, then you're going to have to unaccept it. But if you just have no opinion about it, you see it for what it is, you know that the devil is driving these people, you wish them well. They want you to come and be mad and yell at them. They want that. They show up more. They get the businesses and the companies to participate. You're giving them a false sense of life. But if you leave them alone, they'll go away. And then they'll fight one another, because the devil got to fight with somebody. He got to fight with you in your head, or find somebody to fight with, whether it's family members or anyone. The devil is no competition for us, those who have been born of the Father. He was no competition for Jesus at all. He had no authority, he had no power, he had nothing. So Jesus didn't give the devil any attention at all. He said, "Get behind me, Satan." He never tried to prove anything to the devil. He never tried to prove the devil wrong or right. He just let the devil do his thing because he has no power. And likewise, in your mind, this thing that's making you judge yourself and others, that's not you. It's the devil in the mind that has to die. It's called ego, but it's really the spirit, the nature of the devil. And when you forgive, the light of God will take and run the devil away from you. He will repudiate the devil. He'll take him away from your mind and give you a clear mind. But I recommend you do the silent prayer. Forgive your mother and father. And then do the silent prayer so you can let go and just let the light fight on your behalf. And the light will fight the darkness, and you will be born again of the Spirit of the Father. Your old ways will be passed away, and you will start to live. Because the world, this country is going to get worse. Human beings are evil. I'm looking at what's happening in the news. I'm looking at what's happening in the media. But it's happening right here, too. The same thing you see in the big light of the media, it's happening in your private life, too. It's the same spirit, same thing. There was a young man called the show on Friday, I think Thursday or Friday. And I've never met him. He lived in another state. He heard about forgiveness. And I believe he had called a while back and said he was taking care of his mother and blah, blah, blah. I think that's the same guy. I could be wrong. But anyway, he went and forgave his mother, and his mother turned on him. He said her head twisted like the Exorcist woman. And he was surprised, because he for all that time, he's 30-something now, I think he said, all that period of time, he thought he was the bad son. And he was trying to prove to his mother and others that he was trying to make up for that. But when her head twisted, and all he did is, "I'm sorry for resenting you," she turned on him. And then she went and built an army against him. The other family members and so-called friends. And now he's alone. He's like, "I feel alone now. All of a sudden, I'm just alone." Because all of the people he thought were with him, they really were not with you. They're not with him. And so the light came on, and the darkness hated the light. Your family, your friends, your so-called whatever co-worker, they're going to hate the light in you, and they're going to turn on you. And it's not them turning on you, but they're turning on God. They're turning on the light that's in you. And you should be happy to see that, because you were already alone, just didn't know it. It was fake friend. It was fake family member. That's why they have to remind each other how much they love each other all the time. On every phone call before they hang up, "I love you," because they know they're lying. They have no love. They want you to feel something, and that feeling is wrong. But it's the same spirit everywhere. And the world gonna get evil. It's gonna get worse. You ever seen anything yet? But you could be free in the world. But you gotta overcome the fate you. You gotta overcome anger. You gotta overcome the imagination. You gotta overcome the devil. and all this mess will be going on, and you will be free. And amongst this whole mess, and you'll be able to hang out with crazies. You'll be able to go, but you won't identify with them. You won't judge them. You won't accept it, but you won't judge them inwardly or outwardly. You associate with so-called friends and things, but not for an identity anymore, because you will be one with God. You wouldn't be divided within yourself. And you'll be able to live in the world. Christ came that we may live. He was sent that we may live right here on earth. And then the ego would die, and that's the one death you have to go through. No more dying. No more dying. Isn't that amazing? And you will no longer be afraid of dying, because dying would not exist. Do you know dying is just an illusion? And divided people are divided in all their ways. They live illusions. And that's what we have to die from, all these ideas and illusions that we think about ourselves. We're neither wonderful or bad. We're neither saint or sinners. We're neither, we have never done wrong, and we've never done right. It's always been that thing that possessed us to make us do what we do or have done. And once you see that about yourself, you would never judge again. You'll be able to speak up, but and the words will be given to you, because you could be out there speaking up and saying dumb stuff. You still trying to prove that you're better and that you're right and they're wrong. Whomever it might be, your parents or your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, or whatever it might be. You're just trying to prove you're right, and they're trying to prove they're right. So you got two devils fighting. Stop fighting with the devil. Stop taking sides. Really, don't take sides. And that way you will be free. And God said, just think about taking sides. If God said, if somebody offend you, you go and you forgive them, right? He didn't say go and tell the world. He didn't say tell mama, tell daddy they're going to take your side. Let's say brothers and sisters are fighting. Your parent has no business taking side. It's between the two of you. You should forgive one another. And try to bring the parent, I have nothing to do with it. It didn't happen to me. They didn't do that to me. I'm not judging either way. Y'all forgive one another. Work this out. And it'll be over with. It's so easy to live the non-judgmental Christian life once you overcome judging yourself and believing the lie that comes from the devil. You got to die from all these fake ideas about yourself. And then you'll see the fake ideas in others, and you won't judge it. You will understand. We are not these things we think we are. We're not a doctor. We're not a lawyer. We're not wonderful. We're not bad. We're not black. We're not white. We're not all this mess. It's just identities who have taken on. And that's why it's so hard for the ego to let your ego die, because it feels like you're dying. I have so many people tell me, oh no, I can't do this. If I die, who will I be? If I let the ego, and some people get afraid and run away from it because they're so identified with the false self. And there's nothing to live up to. And all the reason you think there's something to live up to because you've been told that, number one, and then you look at other people and compare yourself to them. And they look rich and they look happy, so I must be unhappy or not rich enough. And those people that got money, they're miserable, they had the same problem. So if you want to overcome that, stop comparing yourself to anyone and you just live your life without any ups or downs or trying to be like someone. Don't try to be rich, because in order to try to be rich, you got to think that you're poor. If you never thought of yourself as being poor, you would never try to get rich. Isn't that amazing? It's not, the devil lying to you. We got to die from the devil. We're none of those things. The real us, the real person is free. You're really free, but you're caught up with ideas. You're looking for somebody to love you and somebody to love. Ain't nobody got no love for you. They don't have it. And you love nobody. Amazing. What do you think about all that?